Good afternoon, guys, and happy Saturday to all of your sunshiny faces. So guys, I need to actually get in the shower and head to bed. I ended up staying up kind of late. Normally, like on the weekends, like Friday and Saturday night, we stay up at late-ish until about 11 or so, watch live PD. And it's actually not supposed to be on, I think, for the next 2 weeks. So I might be able to actually go to bed a little bit earlier. But guys, I ended up staying up an hour later after that, so it's right now midnight, because my mom put on the show. It's called, maybe it's called Finding Your Roots or something like that. It's on WTTW. And it's actually, the guy that hosted it was actually featured in that first issue of the Family Tree magazine. I think that's the same guy. And I was like, oh, I recognize him. And so mom put it on. It was like an interesting story and stuff like that. So we watched the one episode and we got 40 minutes in, which is an hour-long show. My mom was falling asleep and she's like, I have to go to bed. I was like, you put this on and like wanted to watch it and now you're going to bed. So I just stayed up. I was like, it's another 20 minutes. And honestly, I don't know if I would have ended up like going back to it and remembering to watch it again. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna finish it then. So I ended up finishing watching it. And it actually kind of inspired me a little bit more. Not even so much to just like do my family like history or family research or anything like that, because I told you guys I'm totally into that and I love doing it and everything like that, but more to like focus on like one person and maybe find out more about their story specifically. Like what they kind of do is like they'll, you know, do their family tree or whatever, but then they'll pick out like a few people that are, you know, kind of important or have, you know, like fun or important like stories, and you know, like different unique stories, I guess, and you know, focus like on that one person kind of, or a few people in their family tree that have like unique stories to tell. So I kind of want to do that too, like look into that and like kind of know a little bit more about that, because like even my great grandpa too, like I've heard stories about him, like I know kind of some things and everything like that, but like, you know, it's, I think, different like to realize like what was it like for like that person like during that time period, and like even the job that like he had, or you know, like what he did, or you know, whatever was going on during that time, you know, like what things influenced them, or you know, or something like that. My grandpa actually, or my great grandpa, has a pretty unique story, just because of his mom. I think was actually like divorced, and so he had one brother, and like he lived with like his great grandfather, or he lived with his grandfather and stuff like that. And actually looking into some of the like stories and histories that somebody else actually did, and we have some information actually on his side of the family, more on his dad's side, which we didn't know too much about because again, he was more with his mom, but like they owned a lot of like farmland and stuff like that. But then on his dad's side it was kind of the same thing, but like I don't know who did that research, but somehow we have some of it, or like copies of some of it, and my mom didn't do it. We think it might have actually been his sister, which was his father's like daughter, when he got remarried, and so like that whole story was like, I felt like he had a very unique story, and like the area that he lived in, and just like I said, his story was kind of a little bit more, you know, unique, that like there was also a little bit of like some unknowns there as well, if that makes sense, because it wasn't, you know, like his parents were divorced, so there was like, you know, two sides of a family, and like I said, he had like a half sister and like other things that we, you know, have found out and stuff like that. But some of the stories, and like I said, like the farmland I think was actually turned into like a pumpkin patch or something like that, like a place where you can go and pick out pumpkins, was actually possibly maybe owned by his father or something like that. My mom was telling me about. So there was some actually, like I said, kind of unique stories on his side of the family, but like even just to pick out like one person and try and focus on that one person, and even figure out too, like, okay, well, like here they moved to this part and they were doing something, you know, here, like what was going on in that area that actually you know, like influenced why they ended up going there, you know, whatever. I was actually, funny enough, I just got my new issue of That Family Tree magazine, and was going through it, and it was actually the focus. They do like a 2-state like focus, and they'll tell you like about the history of that state, and like, you know, different important things about it or whatever, like census records where they can be found, you know, all that kind of stuff. And on my grandma's mother's side of the family, she her father, when I think the first maybe second son or something like that, they actually had in Fort Morgan, Colorado, which I found out that actually the time that they were living there was really popular with beet farming. And we think that for like a few years or whatever, they ended up actually moving all the way out to Colorado and then came back to Illinois, possibly just for like this beet farming or whatever. And I think maybe they actually ended up failing, or they didn't do really well or something like that, which is some information that my aunt had actually sent my mom when we found this out, and we asked her, and she said something like, oh, they had a farm there, but it ended up not doing well. And he actually ended up going there with her, or with his wife's like sister or brother or something like that. So I was looking at census records, and sure enough found them on there too. So some of the information that my aunt was providing was like correlating with the story that I was seeing there as well, and again the history of that area. But it was funny enough because they did actually mention Fort Morgan in like its origins in the magazine, which was like one of my like I think it was my great-grandma's oldest brother was born there. Like I said, they ended up moving back, but like her, you know, parents ended up living there for a short period of time, and so to see that was like kind of cool. But like, you know, focus more on like the stories instead of just being like, okay, I want to find like as many relatives as possible, but focus more on like the actual person, like who were they, what did they do, you know, like all that kind of stuff. Because sometimes, like, you know, I asked my mom too, and she ended up telling me like my great-grandma, which again was on my grandma's side of the family, ended up actually working at a like grocery store or something like that. And I actually was able to see that in census records as well. My mom was telling me like about this grocery store or something like that I actually looked up, and sure enough it was like a Chicago chain that has since closed. But you know, seeing like that kind of thing is like very interesting to you know, again correlate with actual documents and stuff like that, and then see where she was and what she was doing and that kind of stuff. So like I said, that's fun, and I kind of want to just, you know, maybe not even do so much like more trying to find family tree, but try and find that one person and just try and find everything out about them, and not everything, because I think that's kind of impossible, but you know, just like very unique things that is, you know, like I said, something interesting to find. I keep going back to it. We actually have a picture of my whole family, which is actually, that's my great-grandfather there, and then, sorry you guys, it's not focusing that well, and then my great-grandma is down there on the bottom as well. My great-grandpa is up there, and then that's my grandma, me, Matthew, my dad, and my mom as well. So yeah, that's them. That's one of our, I don't know if it was one of our last pictures together. I think it kind of was, because my great-grandma, I think, passed away. Maybe Matthew's like 2 or something like that, or like 1. Actually don't know if we had moved into this house yet. And I know my great-grandpa did come here like maybe once or twice when we first moved in, and then shortly after that he ended up passing away. So I know that, and that was one of the last pictures I think at that old house. So I think that was one of our last like family photos with like, you know, all of us in there, but Jack wasn't even born yet, like I said. So that's my great-grandma, great-grandpa, my grandma, and then me and Matthew, and then my mom and dad. So yeah, it's coincidentally enough that I was sitting there. But I got all my grocery shopping done for the stuff that we needed to get for Mother's Day tomorrow. I've actually got a whole ton of fruit sitting here right now, guys, that I actually was gonna chop up tonight, but I realized I don't have anywhere to put it because our refrigerator literally looks like this. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. Honestly, guys, as we start to cook this stuff for tomorrow, it'll slowly start to like clear out some of this stuff that's in here, which will be good. Like we have some stuff for breakfast, and we've got some stuff for like lunch, dinner tomorrow, and dessert stuff for tomorrow as well. So yeah, I think that's it might be a little bit easier once I can start actually doing that. Like I might do it in the morning so that it's cut up, but then try and focus a little bit more on like I can leave it out for a little while and then eventually get into the fridge once we've made some room out of there. So like I said, yeah, I think so what I'm planning on actually doing for tomorrow, my mom really wanted fruit salad, but she had asked for like, you know, a specific fruit salad. Like she wanted certain fruits in her fruit salad. And I was like, okay, but I was like, you know, I think she didn't want any berries. I personally really like to have berries in my fruit salad, like strawberries, maybe not necessarily blackberries, but I was like, how about if I just cut up all the fruit, we do it like a like a fruit salad bar, and whoever wants what kind of fruit salad or just plain fruit, you know, can have whatever they want and make it into a fruit salad, however, you know, whatever they want. Which is weird though, because I do kind of like melon, like separate, like watermelon, cantaloupe, honeydew melon, like as a separate like fruit salad, and I think I like maybe watermelon, and like I really like blueberries. Blueberries to me are like the perfect like fruit salad. Like you put them in any fruit salad really. There's a couple different ways to do fruit salad, so like I said, it's kind of whatever you want. So that's why I was like, why don't we just do it this way? So we also, if you guys can't tell, the kitchen table's clean. There's a huge mess back there, don't pay attention to that. The kitchen counter and sink and everything like that is pretty much clean. I do have a little bit of dishes that needs to be taken out, or put in the dishwasher and stuff like that. Matthew actually ended up cleaning the shower, toilet, and sink, even though I just cleaned the toilet I think recently, but he was like, yeah, it's kind of looking gross. I was like, okay, go ahead and clean it. Like I think literally maybe a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, I don't really remember when, but I know it was like very just recently. And he's like, well, it kind of looks gross. I was like, okay, then clean it. So I cleaned off the table too, like that's all clean. So hopefully tomorrow things can get rolling kind of quickly, but I need to get to bed so I can at least get up tomorrow. And I think we're just gonna do omelets, which I kind of wanted to do an omelet bar kind of thing and let Matthew, like he was gonna make the omelets and stuff like that. The only problem is I realized we literally only have cheese to put in omelets. Like there's no peppers, there is no, I didn't think to get that. I was so focused on the fruit. I didn't get that. I didn't get any ham. Like, you know, some people put ham in there. We just have cheese pretty much. So it's gonna be cheese omelets or plain omelets for tomorrow, I think. And I also got sausage, but that's kind of just a separate thing. So it's gonna be either scrambled eggs, plain omelet, or omelet with cheese, I think, tomorrow. So Matthew doesn't have too many options he has to worry about, but like I said, guys, I will see you guys all in tomorrow's vlog. If you guys did enjoy today's, make sure you guys give it a big old thumbs up. If you guys are new, we'd love if you'd subscribe, and I'll see all of your sunshiny faces tomorrow. So bye, guys.